3,000 years ago, Homer handed us a map to answer all our problems. Not to one problem, but to all of them. The ego, the distraction, the entitlement, the victim mentality. He put it in one story, dressing it up as an adventure because he knew if he said it plainly, no one would listen. And what did we do with it? We made it into a high school assignment, complained about it, and still didn't read it. And now we're shocked when our lives look exactly like Odysseus' crew. I'm Onyx. Let's talk about what apparently the Odyssey says you're doing wrong. But first, we have to talk about how we got here. During another one of my brain-melting scrolly sessions, trying to figure out ideas to make a video on, I ran into this video that was made by a YouTuber called Pick the Pegging. I'm hoping I say that correctly, and all his stuff will be in the description below. But it was a video called Homer Teaches Us That the Gods Wouldn't Answer Your Prayers. Now, the Odyssey is right on the last shelf underneath my altar, and I got a few pages into it, along with a few other of my mental books. Some I finished, some I didn't. But I haven't touched my Odyssey book for a bit, maybe in a few months. You would have thought that Hermes himself was running next to me on how fast I got out of my gaming chair. But it was all worth for nothing, cause this part where the Trojans pray gave the best offering to Athena for help, but she refuses them still, it was in the Iliad, not the Odyssey, which was the book I had in my lap that was bruised from hitting my desk. But the question it sparked, those didn't stop. Why would she refuse? How many lessons are in the Odyssey and as well as the Iliad? And what in these two books are they trying to tell or warn us about? And I don't got the Iliad, but you know what I do got? The Odyssey, like I said before. So we finna get into that. Odyssey is an amazing piece of work, and each lesson isn't out in the open for you to quickly pick up on, but instead nicely and beautifully woven into the story. This lesson that I'm about to talk about is one we might have all skipped out on, cause I know I did. You remember maybe being in high school, college, or even at home, and you're first reading the Odyssey. Then comes the part where Odysseus and his man just got out of the Cyclops cave, and instead of taking that win and leaving, he gets up and yells out his whole name out of anger, aka being the reason why he was stuck out at sea for the next 20 years. I remember when I read that part in my freshman year of high school, I was confused and frankly angry, because nothing was possessing him to do so. So why was this part added, and why did he do it mainly? But without knowing, this part was teaching a lesson, which is hubris will cost you everything. Now, story time. We can't go on without having a personal story. I remember not that long ago, I was playing my favorite game, Marvel Rivals. I wanted something to quickly de-stress because I was hard at work and wanted to take my mind from everything for a little bit. When I got into the match, there was a Gambit player on my team. It seemed like he didn't really want to be Gambit, he wanted to be a duelist or like damage, but I'm guessing someone took his hero, so he got upset about it. But afterwards, when he switched to Gambit, he was swearing up and down that he was the best player, that just all because of him, he will be able to get us to that win. And let me tell you, he was buns. He was not the best. Now, I get to talk. Why? Because I was the second healer. I was Jeff the Land Shark. I might get dogged a little bit, but let me explain. Because the way I was eating down that match, if I'm able to find the score, I'll put it on the screen. But once that match ended, it was clear as day that we won. We won by a landslide. But even afterwards, even when multiple people got more kills than him, and even I got SVP, he swore that he was the only reason why we won. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I get very competitive in video games. I wanted to text a whole essay in chat, but I didn't. I just made a sarcastic joke and just went on to the next match. Now, why did I tell you this story? Because this is completely different from what we were talking about. I didn't know Homer would talk about people like this. Odysseus beat the Cyclops through intelligence, not by swinging his sword around and trying to aim for something, by simply outsmarting this beast, but then threw it all away by screaming his real name out in a sense of pride. That one moment of ego cost him 20 more years of suffering. Odyssey could have gotten home if he didn't let his ego take control of him. Now, will you get lost at sea for 10 years if you get cocky? No, but instead, This is just a reminder that if you see someone acting like that, you know that Homer already tried to warn us about this fact, and just keep it pushing. Switching lanes from Odysseus himself, let's talk about what was in Odysseus' way. The Lotus Eater, Circe, the Sirens. Almost every plan that Odysseus had at the beginning went south quickly, resulting in him having to create another plan on the spot, or having to tweak his main plan up a little bit. I mean, he wasn't getting a break, yet that was the point. Homer was showcasing the power of discipline and willpower, but also that temptation will destroy you if you let it. But what I'm going to say next is going to step into the self-improvement aspect. But before I say anything, I have a problem 100%, so it makes sense for me to say this. The modern parallel is doom scrolling, instant gratification, and chasing trends instead of doing the real work. Now, I don't know you personally, but I know maybe half of y'all got some work that you guys gotta be doing. Either it's from work from your school, maybe it's a job, maybe it's a personal goal that you set yourself. You told yourself that you'll work on it once you get home, or until you get this one thing. That promise that you told yourself, or that barrier that you set up so you wouldn't get to work, that's causing you to wait until a few hours until your deadline, or doom scrolling for hours. I'm sorry to cut it. You're avoiding your problem. Your TikTok feed is the Lotus Eater. Any temptation is the siren in the story. Homer already warned us, and no one listened. Does this mean be a monk? No. That just means put the phone down and start working on that project you've been procrastinating on. Yeah, I'm looking at you, the one in the back. But hold on, before we wrap this video off with a nice bow and send it off, I got a few more things. And hey, if you keep watching, I got a little bonus at the end of the video. But to go into our next section, this part is very self-explanatory and it has to be in the video, which is the gods don't owe you anything. Athena helped Odysseus, but only because he earned perseverance, cleverness, and humility. The gods aren't vending machines. You don't pray and receive. Now, for those who subscribe to my channel, you guys already know how I stand when it comes to this mindset. I already made 2 videos on this topic, so if you want to go check it out, I'll link it in the video. But for those who are new, the mindset of, if I light a candle, where's my prayer? Which I understand because I had the same mindset. But Homer already answered this 3,000 years ago. Because the gods help those who are worthy, the one that will put in the work and show respect. Let me show an example. Asking the gods to help you find a job. If you made a prayer and then sit down and wait, you're not getting anything. They're looking at you like, why do you even ask? It's understandable because if Odysseus, the guy Athena personally backed up, still had to suffer for 20 years, what makes you think that lighting some incense will do anything? Now, if you were able to sit down and watch until this long, well, for starters, thank you. But here's a bonus, which is the hardest pill to swallow. The first few pages you'll see when you begin reading the Odyssey is Zeus giving a speech. But what is that speech? Zeus saying that it's your fault, not the gods. I'm not joking. The first thing Zeus says in the entire Odyssey is looking down at the mortals and saying, what being these mortals are. They always blaming the gods and saying that evil comes from us, when they themselves bring suffering among themselves through their own reckless folly. Zeus, king of the gods, on page 1, saying, stop blaming us for your problem. You have every right to say that, because we do a lot. Which strongly reinforced the idea that I had before. You are not cursed, you're not unlucky, you're just doing what Homer warned you not to do 3,000 years ago. Peace out, champions.